When you talk about dynamic duos in the video game industry, of course you think about Victor Lucas and Scott Jones. You also think about Jak and Daxter. You also think about Ratchet and Clank.
Everybody thinks about Ratchet and Clank.
Our number 53 in our countdown of the 100 greatest video games of all time. And these guys have delivered consistently so many great games over the years that we're just going to accept the whole series in this one.
Yeah.
And this dates all the way back to 2002, back when the PlayStation 2 was still a very fledgling console, kind of in search of an identity. And these two guys
helped
really,
to define it.
yeah, they helped warm up the heart of the PlayStation 2, because if you remember back then, it still was kind of a cold and lifeless machine.
Absolutely, good point.
Is that Secret Agent Clank?
Greetings, sir. We are here to help.
Well, this is an honor.
Yeah, this was kind of a war of attrition, I think. The PlayStation 2 becoming the highest selling console in that generation, partly due to the amount of material that Sony and its partners were throwing at consumers. But Ratchet & Clank, I think, rises really high on our list, higher, I think, than either Sly or Jak and Daxter, because there was a quality kind of bar that was raised right from the beginning, and they always seem to get better.
Well, they're huge games.
Yes.
They're not short. I think every single Ratchet and Clank game is at least 15 hours long.
Let me guess. That somebody is me.
You gotta volunteer! Here, Sarge, take this. We'll cover you.
It had that kind of playfulness in the character design.
Right.
It had the great banter between Ratchet and Clank. It had, you know, Clank's dry humor. It had Ratchet's kind of more earnest guy who was good at fixing spaceships, or Lombax who was good at fixing spaceships.
Captain Quark.
Yeah, and Captain Quark and his sort of like washed up, unself-aware qualities.
Yeah, he seems like kind of a, you know, wacko.
This is a game series that has withstood the test of time, has generated a lot of fan love out
And
there.
it's funny, too.
It's very well crafted story-wise.
Even having the subtitles of Up Your Arsenal or Going Commando, there was always puns, there was a playfulness, even in the verbiage of the game.
And a maturity in the game design as well. I mean, these were games that delivered crazy weapons and crazy abilities throughout the experience, but they were always done from a gamer's perspective. So you always felt like a powerhouse when you're working your way through and using the sheepinator and making enemies dance and blasting into all kinds of bits.
I mean, the other empowering moment in this game is just feeling that you're magnetized to all of these bolts around you. Just running around, picking up those bolts was an aesthetic experience and a very pleasant experience. So you felt compelled to go break every crate, find every last bolt in a level, and use all of those bolts to upgrade all of your very cool guns.
I haven't used the phrase thumb candy yet, I think, in our countdown list. I'm going to use it now, though.
You used it quite a few times.
Here it is again. Okay, this is thumb candy of the highest magnitude, and we've got lots of Ratchet and Clank to look back on right now. Take a look.
And the first game we're going to talk about is Ratchet and Clank from Sony for the PlayStation 2. What'd you think of this one?
Now you have a lot of different weapons. You have over 36 different weapons, like flamethrowers and different things like that.
The graphics are incredible, 60 frames per second, huge worlds that are populated and filled with all kinds of interesting objects in the background. The characters move fluidly. There's lots of really interesting boss battles. And let's go on to Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. This one's from Sony for the PlayStation 2. What'd you think of this one?
Now, does this mean that Ratchet isn't wearing any underwear?
I don't know. Clank is actually really cool in this game. He's always been my favorite sidekick, and the reason why he's got all these different abilities, he can go up and mind control these little tiny microbots. Clank is a great character. The levels are all very similar to the way they designed the Spyro levels. It was a circuitous, large environment. Circuitous, like a big circle here type area.
Circuitous?
Circuitous.
Right.
Welcome back to Reviews on the Run. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Ted Price at Insomniac Games got together with his team and said, let's make something super cool. And alas, Ratchet and Clank was born.
And we liked it. And so they said, let's bequeath them another.
And another.
And we liked it.
And another.
And we liked it.
And we have to stop at 3 here because we're talking
all we
about the Blu-ray collection, and this gathers together the first 3 games in the Ratchet and Clank series.
HDs them up. Honestly, when you get into the gameplay, it's better looking than the cutscenes, and it's so impressive to think that this stuff was being generated on almost 10-year-old. It was 10 years old.
10-year-old hardware.
10-year-old hardware, and done so well. There's so much detail in the background, so many moving parts. There's a lot of stuff happening on screen, you know, and it's amazing.
There's a lot of stuff crammed into this disc. I mean, these are seminal titles. These are games that really paved the way for where third-person action games are in the year 2012. And, you know, going back to the original Ratchet & Clank, what an incredible treat this is. I forgot how polished this thing was right out of the chute.
Currently, I'm in search of someone who could be of assistance in saving the solar system.
Congratulations, Insomniac and Ratchet and Clank and Quark and that whole colorful cast of characters. Ratchet & Clank, your number 53 in the top video games of all time list.
Yes.